Okay, I think one of the sheriff deputies just passed. I don't blame them. I'd check anybody out nowadays that comes around a facility like this. I wish people would cooperate with the police officers more. When I see some of the videos online, how people disrespect them. This is so beautiful back here. This is grounds that anybody can come to. That's Michael House Barbershop, that little white building over there. I see that's a stage. They let you play on it. Years ago, I got permission to come over here and play with somebody way down the street had to complain that I was playing too loud. I went to the police department. They said that's what all this is back here for, the plugins and stuff, for people to enjoy it. You don't have to pay for something that your taxes pays for. Look at the ducks. Look at the ducks. You can throw bread, and they love it. They love the bread that you throw. This was Michael House Barbershop there. Boy, I spent many a day. And there, of course, they modernized it, made an apartment. It's been different businesses. The deepest ditch in Bay St. Louis used to be along this road here. I mean the deepest ditch. After the storms, they filled it, I see. This is going down Memories Lane. As a kid, I lived at 102 Watts Street. Dad was very prosperous. He had 2 rentals. He leased out warehouses to the beer companies. He had a trucking business, a taxi business. That used to be Johnny Scafidi, the mayor, for 20-some years, that house. And that was Tony's Barbershop. And all these are modern businesses, and they call this Old Town Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. These are different businesses. Yes. I haven't been back here in years. I'm just wanting to see what's all back here. Boy, some food smells good. And that there is the community center, a new community center. I say new, but it's changed so much. But that is there was a movie made here years ago in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi called This Property is Condemned, with Natalie Wood as the star. And this was the main building. It's called Bay St. Louis Little Theater Star Boarding House. Agnes of God, now showing. Oh, that's the little theater that used to be down in Cedar Point. Now we get into historic landmarks. I don't know what, I think this building is a house, but at one time it was part of Lucich's clothing store, as I recall. And that there used to be Patalas Grocery there. That was Patalas. And that was, right there was Lucich's clothing store. Getting off course here. I don't want to fall. I do want to see what they got over here though. It's been years since I've gotten this close. Oh my, I see an old scale. Yeah, it's still filming. I see an old scale in there. look at those old bottles. I see old bottles. I didn't know what they had for sale in here. It's been years. And look at that painting. I do a lot of artwork, so anything that's a painting I'm interested in. Oh, I see it's a jewelry shop in there too, and I see they're still doing a lot of work. Now in this corner, right past here, right past what used to be Talis Grocery, there was a little gun fixing shop right here, and the guy was missing one eye. I think he lived on Keller Street. And now that's some kind of art place over there. And that there used to be Lucich's Grocery. And I think that was a Black Baptist church over there. And during that making of that movie, This Property is Condemned, with Natalie Wood, the company, the movie people making the movie, they talked the preacher into making it look like a bar room, and they dressed it up with lights and all that on the outside to make it look like a bar room. I'm not condemning the people, but most preachers would never let their church be outfitted to look like a bar room to go into a movie, but that's their business. But anyway, I came back here also because this little building right there, this real old looking building, it had a sign that on certain nights they do jazz, and I wanted to see what the schedule was. So, I don't know, I don't see no sign now. But anyway, that's the old railroad track over there. Over there. Oh, all this is built up so much. I can't see putting that much money into a house like that unless it's on a beach. I was blessed to live on Beach Boulevard property for about 34 years of my life, which really most people have seen to be the most leisure, luxurious property you can get on the coast, but now it's sky high. I'll give you a good example. This is called Old Town. We're 2 blocks off the beach. My Aunt Nola Kingston. And what's the chance her husband would be Nolan Kingston? What's the chance that 2 people meet in life? The female is named Nola, and the husband's named Nolan. It's like they were meant to be. Oh, I love that privacy fence. Golf cart parking. The backyard. Beer garden. Oh well. I'm going to show you a house that recently, now first of all, that house right there, Jimmy and James Brown, Charlie Brown and their sister and parents used to live in it. I think they rented it. The Cuevases, Richie Cuevas' sister and mother, grandmother lived there. But this house here was my Aunt Nola's. As you see, it's a nice home. That little home sold, I think, for $650,000. That was a Susan O's residence. And Al Arnold and his parents lived there, and they had at one time, I think, the largest fig tree on the whole Gulf Coast. This used to be a police officer here who was into archery and very good at it. And I forgot the name of the lady that lived on that corner, Mr. Blaze. Oh my, they still got their house there. Mr. Blaze lived in that house, and they still got those historic oaks there. They still got the historic oaks. And his daughter Rita Blaze, she was a police officer. I don't know if she still is. My Uncle Al Kingston, who owned the barber shop, That was his home. It looked different back then. Mr. Blaze here, he must have been a slot machine king in his day, because a little shed was been replaced with a modern one. See, that little shed used to be filled with slot machines, packed up. Oh, there's the old building right behind it. It was packed with slot machines, and they had money in them too. And this was the Demoran's house, Louis Demoran. Well, they have really refurbished these homes and made them look nice. Oh, look at that. They built a nice driveway and all that. And Mr. Peterson, Eric Peterson, lived there. And the Lewises, very nice people. He was an engineer. Had a tree growing through the middle of his house. And this here is where my house was for 20 some years, where they've erected a metal building. I sold my home to Gerald Weber, an attorney out of New Orleans. Before the storm hit, this was Miss Heisman's house. And I see the storm took my house away, and they built a utility shed over the slab. Jojo Monte used to live right there on that corner. Boy, they have fenced all this in. That fence cost more than some people's houses. And this is the house they built on my property. See, my property went way from back there. It had a bunch of historic oaks on it. And this is what they rebuilt it with. I imagine the attorney still owns it. And now there's 3 homes on this property. This was 412 South Beach. Back there I was 412B South Beach. And now they've built these other homes. Mr. Timothy Swoop was our neighbor. Over there was Stanislaus College. I remember Al Copeland on a Friday evening would land his helicopter right over there to pick up his son and others and bring them home in New Orleans for the weekend, flying back on Sunday evening. A lot of the other boarders, they took the bus. Oh my, see that it's a private drive now, no drive through. I thought this was a public street. Let me get past it. Yeah, that's Stanislaus. And that was Stanislaus Pier, but it used to be higher than that, bigger than that, have a bathhouse in the middle. There's the old jet towel out there over the water. I went fishing off that pier. I had a key to the pier, and I actually swam off the end of that pier many a day. I might have to slow down and refocus the camera. But yeah, I lived right across from Stanislaus College for 30 some years. Had a brand new home built of my own, fully paid for 23 years. I'm so glad I sold it before Katrina came, because I would have lost all my personal things. I was blessed to be a certified pipe welder, and not only worked offshore but inland, and I traveled all over the states, to a number of different states, just to stay on welding jobs if I wanted to weld inland. But anyway, that there is what they call the Roman Catholic facility. And this is uptown. That's the old railroad bridge. And those, they built a multi-million-dollar marina, as you see. I'm starting to get out of breath going uphill with this bike. As long as it's not uphill, by the grace of God, only I do okay, but yeah, very wealthy people Boats that cost more than homes are out there. They live out there on those boats, a lot of them. And this is party town up here. A lot of them eat their 3 meals a day at these places. And see there's the marina over there. And there is some of the new buildings that came up. And I see pigeons up there. I raised pigeons when I was a kid. Love pigeons. There's some of the boats. There's some of the buildings. And this used to be a Shell service station right here. Then they turned it into a pizza place. A guy named Gary ran it. Now I'd have to go back and see what it is now. See, they got something for sale behind it. There's a daiquiri shack. Toro Sushi. And that's a nice home. A guy named Chris who used to play with Danny Straley up in our house lived there. That there, some kind of building business. This is a popcorn shop now. And the Lagardes lived right there. And this was our old library, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Right there used to be a law firm. And all this was not all of it was Hancock County Jail right there. And this here used to be the Seacoast Echo. That's the old City Hall in Bay St. Louis. And let's see. I see there's workers over there. And that's a Methodist church over there. That's a Historical Society house. And I used to play music here, and probably, God willing, still will from time to time. Look at that fence. They made this, and they grow food on top of the ground. They raise rabbits and chickens for kids to see. There's a chess table made of stone back there. You could come there, and in those little cabinets there, like that one there, that one, and that one, there's free food, free books. People put it there, and if you're really in need of food or books, you can come there anytime and get it. But as you see some of the art on the fence, this little town has a lot of history. Some decent, some very on the side of rascality. Or should I just come right out and say wickedness? How y'all doing? Doing fine, thank you. That used to be the Seacoast Echo right there. That was the original building of the Seacoast Echo. Hey, how you doing? Fine, thank you. That's the Mockingbird Cafe, and that used to be my best friend Peter Kearney, George Kearney. Well, Peter Kearney was my best friend. He lived there. Their mother worked at Carter's Grocery. This used to be a shoe fixing shop there. Manuel Merigi, I think, was the guy who ran it. This was Mr. Jerome Carver's shop there, and that was his too. And he ended up purchasing a lot of these homes going down this street here, and he personally lived there behind one of his businesses. And all these houses he ended up buying, I believe, before he passed away. That's a restaurant there. A lot of these are businesses now. He had married 908, who I went to school with at Old Webb School in Bay St. Louis, across from Superior Supply. These are some very nice people there at that gallery. Beautiful 3-story home in the back. Very nice people. I tell you, prosperity can work two ways. It inflates some people with pride and arrogancy, which gives them the big I little you attitude. And they disdain, or they are disdainful to others. But, and that there used to be the Knights of Columbus, that place right there. They had an old slot machine in the back for many years. And I see it's for sale. But, there's going to be people trying to get around me. I get on the sidewalk at times, and then you run into a garbage can. You got to keep getting off. But hopefully they'll go around me. No, nobody's behind me this time. All these nice homes on Main Street in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. That's an old one. I think that would belong to a teacher. I don't remember her name. She liked to do yard work. I think her name was Miss Williams. Now, it's the law that every vehicle that passes, used to be you drove your bicycle against the traffic. Now the law is you drive it with the traffic. And anybody approaching you in a moving vehicle is supposed to stay 3 feet away from you, but it don't always work that way. But anyway, just going past some of these homes. I might put this on YouTube later. I don't know. Some of the people I've named. That was Judge Nielsen. No, that was Judge Nielsen Rhodes' house. That was the Lockanas' house, one of the biggest, nicest homes in Bay St. Louis. It's now a funeral home. The Lockana family was a very prominent family in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. They had a son that was a coach, and he had his own weightlifting building that he offered to the county of young comers up to get them athletically fit. Mr. Lockana ran Lockana's Grocery. Very frugal man. He invested in rentals. All of his sons, I think, were pretty well successful. They've got the youngest son, Dale, who ended up becoming a surgeon. He's moved away from here. Let me get the other side a little bit. I don't want anybody to think that I'm personally trying to get a shot or working for any kind of investigative unit. I'm just going down memories lane today, and it's very seldom that I get to do this because I don't always have the strength. I'm 71, not complaining. I'm thankful I can still pedal a bike. I'm in the process of getting my van fixed. I've been putting a new paint job on it. But anyway, yeah, very seldom will I ever get to do this. This is the first time I did this, and I've seen a lot of videos. That was Mr. Lockana's home that used to be the coach. Now he owns a graveyard. And Anthony's over there. They used to have their business up there on the beach. This building here used to be, in its day, much older looking, but it was a bicycle shop and a lawnmower motor shop. Mr. Estapa owned it. And but that there used to be Lockana's, Anthony Lockana's business. I think I got it in the film, but I think I need to get on over here and get on the sidewalk. Okay, let's see. Now I'm on the sidewalk, but this ain't gonna last long because I see some garbage cans over there. Yeah, I'm still on Main Street. I hope to be to the highway soon to cross it. To head on to where I now reside in this little town. You know, all these are nice modern homes that used to not look like that. A lot of homes on Main Street kind of fit that criteria. At one time, what you see there, not speaking demeaningly, but it's just to emphasize times have changed. I think we've got a very good police force in this town. I've never really heard many complaints. It troubles me when I see these YouTube videos of people disrespecting our officers with their language and their physical violence. I think police officers ought to start off at least $30 an hour in every call they go on where they're faced with violence and vulgarity from that moment on until they get them people back to the jail. It'll be $100 an hour. Think about it. A lot of us wouldn't even do it for $100. It's a hard job. That there, I'm not sure what that is. How you doing, sir? Oh, that's the fire department of Bay St. Louis. See, I've been kind of tucked away for so long now, last couple years. I just stay home usually doing artwork and playing music. Once in a while I get to go to Lumberton to do something that is a little charitable up there, but other than that, you know, these are some old homes. I remember a guy years ago called Jack of all trades, we called him. He stayed there and he built a big old dump truck home. It was real fancy looking. And apparently he was indeed a jack of all trades and could do all kinds of work. But we have a Papa's over there. And get ready to cross the highway if I can make it. I might have to make a turn and come up the other way, I think. That's what I'm going to have to do. It's taking too much of a chance. Yeah, the light's already changed. And that's a Shell station over there. It's a Burger King. That used to be a Winn-Dixie mall lot over there. But I think this is our modern day police station over here where I got permission to play music over at the L&N Railroad Gazebo a couple years ago. And that used to be the Coast Electric building. And over there is a Pizza Hut, Papa's. As you see, there's not too much to this little town. I think it's beyond a one-horse town now, because if you go from Cedar Point all the way down to Lakeshore where the casino is, I mean, this little town is so different than when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, you could leave your door open. You didn't have to worry about people just assaulting you when you was on your porch and the door was unlocked. White people got along with black people. When I was a kid, it might sound a little uncouth to a lot of the ones who want to be gangsters today, but oh, I could have made this. I could have made this crossing here, but I just wasn't fast enough. Okay. It's time to get on the road again. But anyway, I'll probably look at this. I might edit a little bit out later. Oh, Mom, I'm getting a little tired now. But I am so thankful. Oh, it looks like somebody tried to call me just now. Sancock Bank. This used to be Mr. Louis DeMoran Sr. used to have a car lot here on this piece of property behind what used to be the Winn-Dixie over here. And I think his son sells real estate. I don't know whatever happened to the daughter, Arlene. But Anyway, over there on the corner, after the storm, after Katrina, the Episcopal Church bought that building that used to be a lumber building over there. They made some kind of mission work out of it. I was in the dollar store the other day over here, and when I seen the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of milk and sour cream and everything they have to throw away just because it's a day old or so, they're not allowed to even give it to a mission or anything, because some people actually, if they caught an illness, they would use that as a reason to sue them, even after being offered that kindness. That was Bay Senior High School. That's where I went to high school. I went there, and then I think I went to 10th grade, and I didn't want to go to the 12th because I wanted to do it fast and go take my GED, which I did, and I went to college. Been to about 4 colleges. One of them, though, was a continuing education in theology with Lee College, Cleveland, Tennessee. But the other colleges I physically went to. I did a number of things in my life to earn a living legally, and I really did like welding. So I've been to 3 welding schools in my life and went offshore, and the salary was real good. Offshore. Fell, hurt my back, had to be operated on, and of course after that, workman comp companies won't cover you or insure any marine contractor or company to send you offshore. So I had to find something else. That didn't stop me from welding, though. I was able to weld in private shops. And I had my own welding business at one time. Worked for the Mississippi Highway Department. God has always made a way for me. You know, I love playing music. Sometimes I go to the French Quarter in New Orleans, play music. Anyway, I think I better end it right here. I thank you all for giving me the time of day, and I hope you got educated with a little bit of the history of this little town on the coast. Thank you so much.